Okay, everybody, I've got something very special for you. I recently interviewed the fantastic MayKing, and we're talking about FOMO marketing. So what I've done is I've chopped up the interview and I've broken it down and I've picked out some of the best bits. And in this episode, I'm going to play to you a little highlight from the interview. MayKing is a fantastic person, so full of energy, and it was an absolute delight to interview her. If you want to go find out more, it's at MayKing T. You can easily go and find her on all of the socials. Please do go and say hi and say that you came from Boostly. FOMO marketing is very, very, very important when it comes to organic reach of your brand. This interview delves into that and much, much more. So sit back, relax wherever you are tuning in from for the daily episode of the Boostly podcast. If this is the first time that you've tuned into one, head to boostly.co.uk/podcast. You'll get over 250 episodes of daily goodness, and if you come from there, you can subscribe so you can get alerts and notifications every day when a new video goes live. Okay, let's flip the screen. Next person that you hear from will be MayKing.
What is FOMO? So we'll have heard about the phrase FOMO. FOMO, if you were to Google it, it is anxiety that an exciting or interesting event may currently be happening elsewhere, often aroused by posts seen on social media. Now, when I first called myself the FOMO creator, got a few private messages. FOMO, I don't want FOMO, I want JOMO, the joy of missing out. But do you? Do you want the joy of your prospective clients missing out on your business? Oh no! So in a business sense, FOMO is a good thing. It's positive anxiety. You want to build your community and get them so buzzed and excited about what it is you do that they can't wait to buy your product and service from you. Okay. Now we've got a few Americans in the room. Maybe some Brits will know this film, The Truman Show. If you're too young to know what the film is, Jim Carrey was filmed 24/7. His character was filmed 24/7, apart from when he was in the bathroom. And we can create our own Truman Show. We can create our own reality TV show, if that makes sense, because we're all incredibly nosy, but we need to know who we are. People need to know who we are as a person before they will even think about buying from us, okay? So FOMO bridges the gap between social media and PR. Back in the day, you may need to hire a PR agency to do your press releases and make some big announcements. We can do all of that ourselves on social media. And social media is not just a place for advertising. Don't do that, because people need to get to know who you are first. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So FOMO is bridging the gap between social media and PR. It's really about creating our own TV show, in effect. Okay, now this is how effectively a lot of people use social media. Before social media came along, we would advertise. We would go on yellow pages or white pages, or advertising magazines, and appear on the radio. Okay, and those ads would be repetitive, and they'll just keep going on and on and on until they bore us and bore us into buying from into people buying from us. Now we can't do that on social media, okay? Because as a consumer, we've got the power. We've got the power to Google. We've got the power to decide who we like and who we don't like. So if people don't know who you are as a business yet, then we've got a lot of hard work to do before we even get to the advertising bit, okay? If you start telling people, hey, look at my Airbnb place, or hey, look at my, my services, my hotel or whatever, my B&B, and people don't know who you are yet, they might think that you're selling to them. And we don't like being sold to, do we, guys? Do we? Do we like being sold to? Anybody? No, I don't think we do. So if we don't like being sold to as consumers, why are you selling to your potential folk as well? Okay. And I say that with true compassion and love, because I made the mistake of spamming, when I first started too. So the 5-step plan, I've done it 3 times. Started my business in London, started it again in Brisbane in Australia, lived there for 6 years. I went there to support my husband, and then our marriage had an expiry date, which I didn't realize. And then immigration said, no, you've got to go back home. So I had to rebuild my life, rebuild my business in 2016. But I use this 5-step plan on every part of my journey, and it works. So B is for branding and community, R for relationship building, A is for authority and BTS. No, I don't mean that K-pop band, I mean behind the scenes, and that's where FOMO starts. Then I talked about your PR agency. You can create your PR agency, show the world and tell the world how amazing you are, and get famous on social media. So telling your lurkers, I'll talk more about the lurkers in a moment, your reviews, your customer reviews, how happy your customers are. And then when the time is right, direct communication. So you can then communicate to people effectively when the time is right. So let's go into branding. So in 2016, as I said, had to rebuild my life. So what I did was I started writing, and I wrote a blog called Making Mistakes, Making Mistakes. And I started talking about business. I started talking about social media strategy, what I did, what works, what doesn't. And then within 3 months, this is where the 3 months bit came in, I got headhunted by Google. And so in Sheffield, I was asked to work with a project to help students, members of the public, and businesses with their social media strategy. I was also hired to speak in Europe as well. So that was me in Lithuania, which is great. So this stuff works. So I'm going to talk about you guys though, first of all. So branding. Brand to FOMO is not linear. No one follows you from day one of your business, okay? It is a journey. So people might, you guys will not have heard of me up until today, and hopefully within 3 seconds you'll have probably formed an opinion of me. You probably like me, you probably think what an idiot, I don't know, okay? But we need to get to know each other a little bit more, don't we? We don't want to give a proposal, will you marry me? But that's what people are doing on social media at the moment. They're posting, and they are just posting, buy my stuff. You're effectively asking someone to marry you. What about the courting? What about the dating? What about getting to know each other, the building relationships? That is where the real work happens, okay? Before you even get to the selling bit. And when you're building your brand and when you're building your community, I'm talking about community. I'm not talking about followers. I'm talking about your fans, the people who really love you, not the numbers, okay? It doesn't matter whether you've got 1,000 fans, 100 fans on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. It's the people who are really engaged with your stuff, who are watching your stuff, the lurkers, okay? We need to start building a relationship with them somehow. And we do that with social media and showcasing our authority by posting good quality information onto social media, by showing behind the scenes stuff. Okay, this is the A in brand. Okay, this is where the FOMO starts, because if people started to get to know you, they start to like you, they start to trust you, they're seeing your social media, they're lurking on your stuff. They haven't engaged with you yet, they haven't shared your stuff, they haven't liked, they haven't commented, but they're lurking and they're definitely there. But when the time is right for them, they may get in touch with you. So this is where the FOMO begins.
Having a blast, gonna get it on the Bruce Lee podcast. Bruce Lee like Bruce Lee, cause it's so hard and the T is loose leaf. Making up those rhymes, don't write it, just do it loosely.